I'm Sherilyn McElroy, and this is Romantic Romps. Welcome, everyone, to the podcast of Romantic Romps, where guests share their stories of love and how it changed their lives. The Life of Riley, Chapter 2. As a new executive, Sherman made sure he was the first one in his department sitting at his desk. To do this, he rose at 5:30 a.m. and flew out the door by 6 to make the half-hour drive to the office. It was amazing how he was able to get out of bed, shower, dress, and eat breakfast without my feeling or hearing him. He must be half alley cat. The silence he left behind after leaving for work at dark 30 allowed me more time to sleep, of which I took full advantage. My man was such a keeper. When the sunrise peeked through the slit of the bedroom curtains, I stretched my muscles as if I had run a marathon the day before, nice and slow. Slipping into my sheer baby blue peignoir that covered the matching colored translucent negligee, I went downstairs to kickstart my energy with a pot of coffee. No sooner had I entered the kitchen, my eyes caught the sight of the remains of what must have been a whirlwind that forced its way into the house. Half the pages of the newspaper lay scattered over the glass-topped breakfast table, and the other half lay piecemeal on the floor. Sherman. The day I wanted to peruse the job ads, he decided to wreak havoc with my resource. My man could be thoughtful one minute and a pea-brain the next. Before arranging the newspaper in its proper sequence, I put on the well-needed pot of coffee. While the percolator perked, I reorganized the pages of the paper and flipped to the employment ads. It only took 5 minutes to find the perfect job. It took a week to secure it. Before the alarm split the morning with its announcement to get my lazy ass out of bed, I was up and preparing for the day. My new job as office manager for an employment agency didn't start until 8 o'clock, but I would get there early to show management what a dedicated employee looked like. The congested traffic during the 1-hour drive to my new workplace tested my patience. Why weren't people still polishing off stale donuts or gulping down frozen waffles? And slow? Every one of them drove like they were on a leisurely jaunt, leaf-peeping at the changing of colors in autumn on a Sunday morning. My nerves calmed when pulling off the crowded street onto the road leading to the covered parking garage that served the office building where my job awaited. Now, to find the specific space the company's receptionist issued when she called me yesterday. Once my eyes adjusted to the dim lighting within the multi-level concrete structure, I craned my neck at every empty space, hoping to be on the first floor. It was ridiculous to have thought that because my parking spot was number 652. Even still, with high hopes, I moved up the ramp to the second floor. Up, 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 and voila! There it was. The 6th floor, the roof, with only the sky as its ceiling and no cars. It was odd to have found no vehicles parked on floors 2 through 5 either. Here I was on the top floor where my brilliant blue-colored Nash Rambler, I affectionately named Bluebell, was the only car not under the covered, operative word here, parking. I suppose the agency's receptionist didn't find it important to inform me my spot was closest to the sun. No wonder there weren't any cars. A solar flare disintegrated them all. I pulled into my assigned space and turned off the purr of my beloved car. With scrutiny, I admired my attractive reflection in the rearview mirror. My blue-gray eyes looked bluer somehow. The rose blush highlighted my cheeks. The dark pink color, dark pink, never red. Red reminded me of blood. Of my lipstick accentuated plump lips. Perfection was the name of the game. If Marilyn Monroe stood next to me, I wanted to be the one who got the attention. Speaking of my Hollywood idol, I cut and styled my red hair to recreate the feminine glamour waves Marilyn wore so well. The world was my oyster. With my knockoff Hermes handbag and one of my father's discarded leather briefcases, I headed to the elevator. Toting a briefcase made me feel like a real career woman. Only having my lunch in it made me feel like an imposter. No matter. Image was everything. In front of the elevator door, and after pressing the down button, I glanced at my wristwatch that revealed the time as 7:15. With so many floors empty, was I the only early bird? When the elevator made a snapping pop announcing its arrival, the metal door crept apart a third of the way, then froze. I tried to help it along by pushing, but it did not budge. There was nothing safe about this, so I ventured toward the stairs on the opposite side of the roof. In front of the stairwell door, I received enough resistance in pulling on its handle that it nearly brought my shoulder out of its socket. When cupping my hand on the side of my face to shade my eyes, I peered through the door's upper window. Stretched across the top step was a rope with a handwritten sign hanging in the middle that read, "Stairwell out of order." Why in the world was the sign inside the stairway door instead of outside to prevent injuries when trying to open the doggone thing? Stupid people doing stupid things, that's why. I could move Bluebell to a lower floor, except for all the signs stating parking violators would have their vehicles towed away. Well, there went option 1, and I wasn't keen on option 2, walking down numerous car ramps in high heels. Back to taking the malfunctioning steel trap. Once again, in front of the partially opened elevator, I pressed the down button again to no avail. With patience dwindling, I poked the button several more times, which resulted in the chip of a fingernail. Are you kidding me? My efforts paid off in getting the elevator to move, but in the wrong direction. It began closing. So I shoved my briefcase in the opening to coax the door to alter its direction. My relief soared when the metal jaw fully opened this time, but not before taking a crushing toll on my case. Thinking my opportunity was fleeting, I stepped into the rusty, brushed steel-lined box where I pressed the level 1 button and hoped for the best. The elevator doors closed evenly and left the roof in its descent to the bottom until coming to an abrupt halt that jarred my teeth. The door crept open halfway to allow a view of the second floor at the level of my upper thigh. Really? You left me between floors? After breathing deeply and counting to 60, I faced 2 choices: scream and hope someone came to help me, or I climbed onto the concrete floor. Neither choice promoted a happy ending. Either I got the reputation as the nitwit who got stuck in the elevator, or I sliced a body part on the rusty metal, contracted tetanus, and died. I chose the second option, without the dying part, and planted both purse and crimped briefcase on top of the concrete floor. I hiked my pencil-style skirt above my garter belt and settled it around my waist. Minus the proper space to swing my leg onto the floor, I used my knee to get out of the hellhole. The pressure on my shear hose when bending my leg triggered a pop. No, I just bought these. A runner crept above my right knee toward the garter hook holding the hose in place. At least it was under my dress where no one could see it. As I pulled myself up and out, I brushed against the metal panel with my left ankle, resulting in a snag in the other stocking that ran from ankle to thigh. No hiding that one. Shit, shit, shit. Shit! I instantly clamped my hand over my mouth to prevent any more mannish expressions from spilling forth. With a quick glance around me, I was safe from anyone's ears exploding over my foul mouth running amok. There I stood in all my glory, with my skirt above my garter belt and my hair loose from its arranged coif, thankful for my privacy. Wait. Oh my God. Security chose this moment to make rounds? Sure, why not? That's the kind of luck I was having. Too late. I couldn't get my skirt down fast enough before the guard's vehicle stopped. He leaned over and rolled down the passenger window. "Are you all right, miss?" He acted concerned, but his eyes popping out while drooling over the sight of my legs led me to believe it had nothing to do with my welfare. Yes, I muttered while shimmying down my dress. I'm fine. I had trouble with what? Think. With my garter belt, that's all. I giggled stupidly. You know how the hooks can separate from the stocking. Wait, no you don't, I rambled on. Because you're a man, I emphasized. Not doing well here, isn't it, moron? So no, don't distress over me. I'm 100% fine. But thank you for asking. Please go away. Have a good day, sir, I proposed as I flung my hair off my face and waved him farewell. He sat there gaping at me. Go on now, officer, I urged. Don't let me keep you from your duty. Posing serious, I pointed a finger at him. You have an important job to do. If you're sure you're okay, miss. I licked my lips and scrunched my face in waving him off. Oh, yes, nothing wrong here. Thank you again, officer. Bye-bye now. Before leaving, he gave me some advice I wished I'd had 10 minutes ago. Oh, by the way, he lifted his chin toward the half-open contraption. Steer clear of that elevator. It doesn't work properly. I glanced back. Oh, that one? Yes, I see your point. Thank you for the warning. He tipped his hat and inched forward. As he slowly pulled away, I saw him staring in his rearview mirror, so I kept waving until he disappeared up the ramp. There's no telling what nickname I'd end up with now. I clenched my fists, wincing at the pain from the jagged chipped nail digging into my palm. This was not how I envisioned my day starting out. Alone once more, I took stock of the damages. First, my linen skirt looked like an accordion with all the added pleats from crunching it up. There was a visible run in my left stocking, and my briefcase looked as if a dump truck had run over it. To finish me off, there was a scratch on top of my brand new shoe where I scraped the concrete when crawling out. The rising fury that shot my pulse to the 160 range found its peak. I growled and reared my hand back, slamming my purse full force into the elevator door. God damn you, son of a bitch, elevator! The act did nothing to the metal panel, but it ripped one side of the purse's handle from its body, leaving it dangling in my hand. Great! Just great! Why do you hate me, God? Winded and in shock of what I had done, I held my now worthless purse in front of my face. I killed the expensive accessory, but instead of clutching it to my breast and mourning its loss, I condemned it further by swinging the Hermes fake over my head and driving it into the concrete. Right after that, the elevator's door, without the least bit of difficulty, closed as if to say, "Thanks for providing me the momentum with your purse, fool." The fact that Lucifer possessed the elevator did not completely dampen my enthusiasm. With my disfigured belongings in hand, I walked down the ramp to the first floor. Like Marilyn Monroe herself, I held my chin high when strolling regally out of the garage. Before entering the building complex, I made sure the creases in my dress were as smooth as possible. I gave my hair a last pat down, tucked my crippled purse under my arm, and then pulled on the door's handle. Acting as if owning the place, I marched across the marble-floored lobby and nodded at the building secretary sitting behind a massive desk. I stopped in front of a glass wall with a door to match. Above the door, the agency's name shone in gold letters. Employment opportunities for tomorrow. The way I figure it, if my disheveled appearance caused my new boss to fire me on the spot, at least I was in the right place to find another job.